It was getting dark when Daryl and Zella descended the steep stone stairway that overlooked the Ogre Fall Tavern. The windows below glowed with a friendly yellow light, and from within came the low murmur of voices and the clatter of mugs. Daryl could not help remembering the many good evenings he had spent there with his friends before and after the Great War. In those days, the tavern had meant laughter, food, and old tales told badly but warmly. Now it seemed to him a different place. Its light was still warm, but he came to it with a colder purpose, to learn how he and his companions might find the portal rings and defeat whatever dark design had been made for them. When they entered, Zulk greeted them in his usual booming voice.
Welcome back, my friends. I want to hear of all your adventures.
He waved them toward one of the large round tables. To Daryl's surprise, Fiona was already sitting there, a mug of mead before her. Zulk called to the barmaid.
Head up, free mugs.
The girl nodded and hurried away. Fiona smiled as Daryl and Zala sat down. I arrived here early with a message from Frederick. He has found something in Bexar's journal that he wants you to see before you leave. Daryl nodded.
We will see him. Did he give you any idea what he found?
Well, something about the magical powers that the ring bearer is given. He believes that he found a clue on how to overcome the ring's power. Zulk, who had never been able to keep himself from a good story, leaned in.
You two have been busy. Last we talked, you were on your way to visit the Hive Queens. Tell me about that meetup. Very well.
Daryl began.
Sal and I traveled for several days to the remote Mount Keres outpost. When we arrived...
But at that very moment, the tavern door burst open. X-Star came in first, and behind him was a woman in a green hood. She pulled the hood down, and Daryl knew her at once. It was Malaka, the green-haired dark elf from Murik. Her face was pale with fear, and she spoke before anyone would greet her. The Enchantress has been taken captive by the vampire, Count Bullock. Daryl stared at her.
He is in prison, no?
No, my lord, Malika said breathlessly. A band of demons led by a red sorcerer freed him from the vampire prison. Zala's eyes narrowed.
How is
that possible? The magic protecting the prison is unbreakable. That is what we all believed until now. Malika answered. The witch had a ring of power she used to overpower the prison guards and remove the magic spells used to seal the prison. But the Enchantress and I knew nothing of this. She spoke quickly as though every word were racing against some dreadful clock. I was in my chamber at La Sorpono when the Enchantress came up to me and asked me if I could travel with her to Iposa and assist the wizard Frederick to determine the magical forces that resided in a ring that was used by the pit lord of the underwater temple and lake to imprison the changeling princess Ryla and her royal guards. I agreed to go with her to Iposa. We were eating a small meal before leaving, and the Enchantress was telling me about everything that led to the freeing of Ryla when the chamber candles blew out, leaving us in darkness. I felt the chamber growing cold. I turned to see a bluish fire floating in the air above us, and Count Bullock materialized with his hands pointing at us. He had a glowing red ring on his finger. He smiled coldly.
I have come for you.
I was unable to move. My powers were gone. I watched in horror as the demon minions came out of the shadows and spun threads around the Enchantress. I screamed out and was able to move. The demons heard me and came at me, but I fled, not looking back. For a moment no one spoke. Even Zulk had gone still. Then Daryl rose.
We must leave at once to save the Enchantress.
Extar looked at Malaka.
But where do we go?
Malaka's answer came like the tolling of a bell. To tell Targoplen, Count Bullock's castle.